Chris, have the Chicago Bulls done enough to make themselves a threat to the Bucks or Nets?
Heavens no! No!
There's a real chance the Bulls don't even make the play-in tournament. I think they could finish 11th or 12th very easily. They're going to have a terrible defense.
What a move by DeRozan. Oh, stop it, DeMar. The marvelous. DeRozan.
Look at that. Woo, man. Who said he can't still get up?
DeMar DeRozan is having a career-defining season with the Chicago Bulls. So much so that he's being slotted as an early MVP candidate. But where did this new DeMar DeRozan suddenly come from? To really understand his revitalization, we first have to look at how DeMar ended up in Chicago. DeMar DeRozan was drafted by the Raptors with the 9th pick in the 2009 NBA draft. At the time, the Raptors were a completely different team. Chris Bosh was the face of the franchise, and they were desperately trying to make the playoffs. But just like every star, Chris said goodbye to Toronto in hopes to win a championship somewhere else.
Hey, Chris, you want to jump in and tell us where you're going to be as well?
Yeah, I'm joining Mr. Wade in Miami.
This left Toronto in rebuild mode, again. But it gave DeMar the keys to the franchise. DeMar improved every season in Toronto. He learned how to play shooting guard and lead a team. He became a 4-time All-Star, and his growth was impressive. In 2009, he averaged 8 points and 2 rebounds a game. By 2017, DeMar averaged 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Kyle Lowry joined the team in 2012, and over the next 6 seasons, the duo grew the Raptors into a perennial playoff team. The only problem was that they choked. A lot. Thanks to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Raptors just could not get out of the Eastern Conference. Lowry and DeRozan took the brunt of the criticism and hate. They were nicknamed the Trash Brothers in 2018, after leading the Eastern Conference in the regular season, but then getting blown out by the Cavs in the semifinals of the playoffs. After the season, GM Masai Ujiri had enough. He fired Coach of the Year Dwayne Casey and traded DeMar DeRozan without consultation or phone call. It was a heartbreaking reminder of the business of basketball. How a guy who devoted 9 years to a city and franchise can suddenly be moved without any remorse.
My mindset was always want to be in Toronto my whole career, but I was never naive of that not happening. Just let me know. Like I said, I didn't have no indication like it would be something else. If I knew that, I wouldn't have reacted the way I did.
But in his new home with the San Antonio Spurs, DeMar got a fresh start. He joined a well-coached team and learned how to improve his playmaking ability and overall efficiency, something he struggled with in Toronto. DeMar was a league leader in 2-point field goal attempts in back-to-back seasons with the Raptors. But he shot under 45% from the field. With the Spurs, DeMar mastered his mid-range, learned to pick his spots, and shot the best field goal percentage of his career. He also learned how to pass and played the small and power forward position for the first time in his career. The changes were drastic.
Was that a one-legged fadeaway? Oh my goodness.
That was a beautiful behind-the-back pass. And
DeRozan draws Tristan Thompson. Ebanks goes.
DeMar averaged 6 assists per game with the Spurs, which was more than double any season he had with the Raptors. But his improvements went unnoticed as the Spurs struggled. In 2020, the Spurs failed to make the playoffs for the first time in 22 seasons. Again, there was no one else to blame but DeMar and the other Spurs veterans. The Spurs immediately went into rebuild mode. They listed half their team in free agency at the end of the 2021 season, including DeMar DeRozan. At the time, most critics saw DeMar as a liability. He was a 32-year-old that fell drastically short of expectations twice. Once with a franchise that won a championship when he left, and another with a franchise that performed horribly when he arrived. But the Bulls took a chance, and on August 11, 2021, they signed DeMar to a 3-year, $85 million deal. Media outlets claimed that DeMar was the worst free agency signing of the offseason.
Chris, have the Chicago Bulls done enough to make themselves a threat to the Bucks or Nets?
Heavens no! A threat to the Nets or the Bucks? Come on, no!
That's a nice little lineup, but let's see if they make the playoffs.
I think there's a real chance the Bulls don't even make the play-in tournament. I think they could finish 11th or 12th very easily. They're going to have a terrible defense.
Bleacher Report called DeMar, quote, a 32-year-old who's a poor fit for his new club. They said DeMar's growth as a playmaker won't be easily utilized in Chicago, and that you could argue that Thaddeus Young, who will cost $14 million next season, contributes more to winning than DeRozan. Man, has he proved them all wrong. DeRozan currently has 4.2 win shares this season. LeBron James has 3.6, and Thaddeus Young has just 1. This Bulls team has thrived on having Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso being the primary playmakers and defenders. They have a true all-star center in Nikola Vucevic and an incredibly versatile guard in Zach LaVine. This has allowed DeRozan to play a new role, one that combines the best of his skills from Toronto and San Antonio. Now, DeMar is a mid-range assassin that can get his teammates involved in the first half and close out games in the second half.
Caruso's got it. 5 to shoot. Here's Lonzo. No. We're in the Movado last minute of tonight's game, and DeRozan hits. DeRozan to win it. Go!
Off the inbound, Kobe White gets it to DeRozan. DeRozan hits a tough corner three-pointer over 2 defenders. Time expires, and the Bulls win again at the buzzer.
DeMar is averaging 26.4 points per game with a field goal percentage of nearly 50%.
And with Tony Bradley and the other bigs out there, that was a nice move by DeMar.
Jones out to screen. DeRozan off the mid-range. Cashes in again.
Oh, mid-range monster.
He's shooting the best three-point percentage of his career at 33%, which of course is not that high, but still an improvement for a player who shot just 9% from 3 back in 2011. The Bulls are also getting the best out of DeMar because they're moving him around the court. This season, he spent 72% of his minutes as a power forward, a position he learned with the Spurs. He's even played center with the Bulls for the first time in his career. Defensively, DeMar has always struggled. Ask any Raptors fans about being swept by the Washington Wizards in the opening round of the 2015 playoffs. Now, with the Bulls, he's increased his defensive rebounds, commits fewer fouls, and allows fewer than 0.8 points per chance. At first glance, it really seems that DeMar has reached new heights out of nowhere. But this isn't the case. This isn't a new DeMar. It's just a DeMar that's been able to learn from his mistakes and grow from them. It seems he found the perfect role, which is a little bit of everything. The Chicago Bulls are currently second in the Eastern Conference. They look set to make the playoffs for the first time since 2017. If they do, the whole world will be watching to see if DeMar's revitalization also carries into the postseason. If he can shed the perception that he's a choker and win, we could be looking at a truly new DeMar DeRozan, one who actually gets the respect he deserves. If you enjoy these longer videos, hit the subscribe button and tick the notification bell. I have a ton of awesome content coming out, and I always tailor my videos for the Henry Hoops audience. So if you don't want to miss out, hit the subscribe button. Peace.